On this day in Seventh-Day Adventist history, April 20, 1848, in August of 1847, James and Ellen White would have their first child, Henry Nicholas White, at Gorham, Maine. They would soon be invited by brother and sister Howland to live in part of their house in Topsham, Maine. Though they accepted the offer, they resolved to support themselves, so James started hauling stone for the railroad. After much work, though, he would not get paid what he was due. So he stopped and started chopping cordwood. He would work morning till night with a continual pain in his side for the sum of 50 cents a day. The Whites became discouraged. Had God left them? Ellen White could not restrain her tears and wept for hours. Finally, she was shown that these hard times were so that they would not get satisfied with an easy life. God was stirring up their nest. Then Henry became sick, very sick. It is said that a person experienced in sickness was called, probably a doctor, and the Whites were told it was doubtful of his recovery. The Whites prayed for him, but there was no change. They were showing that they had made Henry an excuse for not traveling and laboring for the good of others. Once more, they fell on their knees, pledging themselves to trusting in God in whatever He might and wherever He might send them. Their petitions were fervent and agonizing, but they were graciously answered. From that hour on, Henry began to recover. A letter would come from Brother E.L.H. Chamberlain from Middletown, Connecticut, urging them to attend a conference in April of 1848. James and Ellen White decided to attend if they could obtain the money. James settled with his employer and found he had $10 coming. With $5, Ellen purchased some needed clothing and also some material to patch James' worn overcoat. Patching even the patches, so much so that it was hard to tell what was the original. They packed their trunk and headed to Connecticut, stopping in Dorchester, Massachusetts on the way. There, they were handed $5 by Otis Nichols, which paid the fare to continue to Middletown. That left but 50 cents left. When they got to Middletown, they had never met anyone from that town before. James did not even dare to ask to pay for a carriage. So he threw their trunk on a pile of boards at the lumber company and walked in search of someone of like faith to bring them to the conference. Soon they found Brother Chamberlain, who took them to his home. On this day, April 20, 1848, the conference of Rocky Hill, Connecticut would begin in a large unfinished chamber in the home of Albert Belden, with about 15 persons in attendance.